What's up? We got The Flash, Season 3, Episode 17, Duet. So this episode starts off with Barry flashing back to when he was a child, now played by a new actor, since obviously Logan Williams, R.I.P. Logan, but Logan Williams at this point would have been too teenagey to play a younger Barry Allen. They get this random kid actor who we'll probably never see again. And I just gotta say, I love Logan Williams. Nothing's good's bad, but he only appears in this one scene. So then we see Barry watching that same movie that he was watching with his mom and Cisco. He's like, hey, dude, you gotta get over it. Iris broke up. You gotta get over yourself. Iris broke off the engagement, or you broke off the engagement. Whoever broke off the engagement, you gotta get over yourself and get back on that horse. So then they get over from Star Labs that someone's coming, and Cisco immediately thinks, they're like, who could it be? And Cisco's like, is it Gypsy? And then Supergirl shows up, and he's like, or is it, and then Human Resources, HR is like, Supergirl. And then he's like, Kara, and then this is where Kara and Milo meet they all meet Milo for the first time, and it's really hilarious, and he's like, who are you? They're like, who are you? And he's like, he's Milo, Kara's friend, boyfriend. Yeah, they've been kissing a lot. And then Jean's like, I thought you two broke up. And he's like, and then HR makes a comment about how there's another breakup between him and Iris, and it's so confusing. It's like, how did you get her here? And he's like, there was some guy, Glee guy, who basically showed up and said about how he wanted to find the fastest man alive. After he jumped, he's comatose, and then said about how he wanted to find you, Barry, because everyone wants Barry Allen. So then that guy, I have to look up his name. I'm sorry for pausing the video for this moment. Pause. So then we see Darren Criss play, or Glee guy. He plays the main villain / not main villain, and he's like, hey Barry. And Kid Flash shows up because HR's like, hey, you're too scared, Wally, but you gotta get back on your horse. So that what happened in Speed Force may have traumatized you, but you gotta get back on that horse, man. So and he basically steals Kara's power to like force push him out of the way, force push, and he's like, hey Wally. Hey Kid Flash, you must be a little bit scared. It must have been that time in the Speed Force. So then he comatoses Barry, and immediately, like last episode, which I forgot to mention, Supergirl, Kara just woke up in this like dream, like musical like setting, and Barry wakes up singing Melissa Benoist's great singing voice, which is really great. We know that Grant Gustin can sing. Grant Gustin's singing voice is amazing. So they're like, what are they, so after, he's like, hey Kara, he's like, hey Barry, and they're like, what are they doing there? And then they meet, so then they're like, are we dreaming? And he's like, the same dream, really? Yeah, so then after, they meet Malcolm Rowan's musical counterpart, Cutter Moran, and then they meet Wynn's musical counterpart, Grady, and they meet Cisco's musical counterpart, I forget the name, but he's like, and he's like, you know how he got named Cutter? Because he cuts people. Yeah, like we didn't realize that. Cutter Moran. Yeah. So meanwhile, the main Glee guy steals Barry's speed and decides to. So that's when Cisco's like, yo John, I know what you're going on here, but we don't need your help. But then John turns into Martian Manhunter, and he's like, well, yeah, we definitely need your help, John. I'm surprised I didn't figure out John was the Martian Manhunter. And yeah, he's like, John's not, friendly with his green alien. So they basically help them arrest the guy, and he basically tells Iris and Mon-El that the only way they can save Kara and Barry is to reveal the love in their hearts, and their love is the only reason that can save them. So, yeah, this crossover is really weird because it basically takes Barry and Kara's dream world is basically Wizard of Oz, Frank Sinatra, and Romeo and Juliet, and it just mixes them together. Just mixes them together into one musical crossover. It's really weird. The Romeo and Juliet part is that Martin and Joe's musical counterparts are married, and they have a daughter who's Iris's musical counterpart, and she's in love with Monel's musical counterpart, and they don't want them together because they're they're rival gangs. See, the Romeo and Juliet elements are in this. Romeo and Juliet. So basically, you get into another. So let me get into another musical element, another musical montage. We prove that Jesse L. Martin again, which we already knew. Jesse L. Martin has a really good singing voice. We now know that Victor Garber has a really good singing voice. This episode's proving that all these actors have very good singing voices. So then in the next musical montage, Barry tells a story of a lie that he knows Superman. But then the crossover later, the crossover after the next one, he says that he meets Superman for the first time. So what was up with this? Oh, Barry's like, I know you're better than your famous cousin, and then she's like, thank you. But I'm like, Barry, you do not know Superman, so stop saying you know Superman because you don't. I don't know what this line was. Was it to throw out fans to say, ooh, Barry knows Superman, before they basically retcon this to say that Barry doesn't know Superman at all? I don't know. I'm a little, edge on this, like Barry saying, oh, he knows Superman, when he really doesn't know Superman. I have no idea what that's all about. He's basically like, ooh, you're better than your famous cousin. She's like, thank you, but I'm like, Barry, do you really know Superman? It basically proves that Barry doesn't know Superman because in 2 years later after this crossover, Barry officially meets Superman. And it's like, yeah, Barry doesn't know Superman at all. When we back to the actual episode, Kara and Barry discover that Monel and Iris's doppelgangers love each other, and she's like, ew. Yeah, it's like, get the Romeo and Juliet elements out of this, into this. So basically, Kara talks to Carter Moran, Malcolm Merlin's music counterpart, and she finally realizes that she was wrong to judge Monel about his past, about his lies, because she's like, the only reason why he lied to you is because he didn't know how you react. Basically, Kara now knows how Monel was feeling when he didn't tell her that he was true Prince of Daxon. That's basically what is going on here. So, anyway, back to the story. So they're able to get them out of this, but then what happened? But then what happened is that Kara and Barry get shot. Kara and Barry die. No, just kidding, they don't. Monel and Iris are able to use their love enough to come into the musical world and save them. Basically, realizing that they actually do, Kara and Monel basically do love each other, and Barry and Iris still love each other, so they're able to save themselves and save the musical world, basically erasing that musical world from existence. So the dude's like, Glee guy is basically, or Music Meister as he's called, is basically like, hey Barry, hey Iris, guys, the only reason I put you in those comas was to make you realize the love in your hearts. And that's basically the main story of this episode. It's about how much you should not really give up on your love for someone, because if you do, So basically, he just does, I guess he does this all the time. He's just gonna go to another world and put another people through this exact same thing. There. But anyway, he's just gonna do this again. He's gonna do this again. He's just gonna put the main characters in this dream world again. another main character. So he basically just realized that Barry decides, so Kara leaves to go back to Earth 38, and Barry performs Running Home to You Barry just had that song downloaded on his phone. I know a bunch of other people have done the covers, but Barry just randomly has it downloaded on his phone. He sings to Iris, and Grant Gustin is amazing. He has an amazing singing voice, and he basically and with that song, he proposed to Iris rightfully, and she says yes to end the episode. He didn't just rush into it. He waited till he was in a musical world and realized he was in love with Iris for her to say yes, and now they're back. Now they're engaged again. So, what do I think of the crossover? It's weird, you know. It's cool seeing Barry and Kara have a crossover. We haven't seen them do that since World's Finest, when Barry ran over to Supergirl's Earth and had this adventure there. But now they actually have an adventure on this. They have a weird musical crossover where basically it's 3 movies combined into one genre. So they basically take Romeo and Juliet, Wizard of Oz, which was Kara's movie, and Dancing in the Rain, which was Barry's movie, and basically and Romeo and Juliet was the Moran, Tom Moran, and Millie Foss, like, secret love relationship. That was basically the Romeo and Juliet aspect. It was kind of weird that they just decided to put that in the episode. Like, I get having Barry and Kara create their own, like, set of world where, like, both their musical tastes come together, but why does any of them like Romeo and Juliet? Because I know last episode's called Star-Crossed. Last episode was called Star-Crossed, which was basically another Romeo and Juliet phrase. So basically, is this episode a Romeo and Juliet episode? I did like Running Home to You by Grant Gustin. It was great. I didn't like how they basically told us that Barry knew Superman, but he really doesn't. Barry doesn't know Superman at all. That basically like retconned. They say, oh, hey, Barry, do you know Superman? He's like, yeah, and then it gets retconned to, oh, Barry never met Superman before in his life. I don't know why they added that into the episode, because Barry doesn't know Superman at all. I don't know why they had that. I don't know why they had that written. But the villain was, Music Meister was an okay villain. Like, it was cool seeing Melissa Benoist, Darren Criss, and Grant Gustin. They're all from Glee. It was basically a Glee episode. It was basically like a Glee reunion. A Glee reunion in a Flash episode. That's kind of new. A Glee reunion in a Flash episode. But anyway, that's it for this video. And I'll see you next time for more of The Flash. Running home to you. Running home to you. Bam, well. Grant Gustin has a good singing voice.